Today we're going to make a wonderful creamy spinach dish, and we're going to put some chicken in it with some Dijon mustard. I have included some measurements for you so that you can calculate your calories, fat, protein, and carbs. So you can pause the screen if you'd like to check that out and adjust accordingly if we're going to substitute anything, okay? So measure out your butter. We're going to use just half of a tablespoon. This is really where you're going to put the fat in this dish, so be careful with your measurement there. Add your minced shallot and a little salt, and we're going to cook those for about a minute until they're sizzling, and then add your flour. This is just some all-purpose sifted flour, and we will whisk that in and let it cook down a little bit to get rid of any pasty taste. I usually do that for about 2 minutes. I'm going to measure out my chicken broth, and this is kind of a broth in a stock, and I will leave a link for you at the end of this video so you can see how I make that. I strained out the fat on this particular dish. Okay, so I'm whisking in my chicken stock, and I'm just going to add my tarragon. This is some that I actually dried over the summer. I was fortunate to get some French tarragon this summer, and so I am also just going to let that cook a little bit more and add a little skim milk, and I'll just slowly add the skim milk while I make the sauce as I add additional ingredients so that it slowly thickens. And we'll put in our Dijon mustard and a little more skim milk and a dollop of the Greek fat-free yogurt and a little more skim milk and some cracked black pepper. I do encourage you to use a small saute pan for this dish instead of a very large skillet, because the sauce can start to evaporate on you and it's harder to control that way. So I like to use a small skillet for 2 servings. And so just put your vegetables in there, some mushrooms, some cauliflower. Some of that moisture is going to release. You'll cook it for about 5 minutes covered, and then you kind of want to keep adding a little bit more milk just to kind of keep it creamy, at a creamy texture. And you can put your spinach in and just gently stir that in until it cooks down. And if you're going to be using fresh tarragon, you can add it at this time as well, and that will just kind of retain some of that fresh flavor. I am fortunate sometimes to have spinach and tarragon coming in my garden at the same time, so this is what I like to make when I have that. Okay, then you'll want to go ahead and taste for your seasoning, and I'm adding a little bit more salt, and I forgot to add my pinch of cayenne pepper, which kind of wakes everything up. I do encourage you to put a tiny bit of cayenne pepper in here. You can add your chicken. This is what I cooked earlier in the week with my chicken that I made my stock and broth with. And you can use a rotisserie chicken breast as well. If you're going to add a little Parmesan cheese, you'll need to adjust the measurements accordingly, because I didn't include that. Now my husband and my youngest son like it over rice, and my teenage son and I like it over cauliflower. So sometimes I don't put the cauliflower in there and I serve it extra. I kind of steam it on the side. Now my youngest son's going to give us a taste test. Do I get a thumbs up?
I don't like it. I love it!
Okay. How about a big thumbs up for me? That's what matters. Your family loves it, right? And it's healthy and yummy. Perfect for this time of year. And I also have some other recipes if you'd like to take a look at those. As I mentioned earlier, I have the chicken broth and stock video in the upper left corner. I have a wonderful cucumber salad in the upper right corner. In the bottom left is a kale and pepper soup with some sausage. It makes it really good. And a yeast roll video to the bottom right. So hopefully you can try some of those out. Thank you so much for watching, and have a beautiful day.